Okay, so we will do one more of this, and then if there's a time, maybe we can do some question. And I don't know the names in Sanskrit, interpreting the Bodhisattva Goals. We'll try to find out the name in Sanskrit. But anyway, Buddha asked this Bodhisattva to go and ask, and there are many Bodhisattvas I just randomly picked, but this one I picked him because I thought it's quite a the discourse with Darshan is quite interesting. First of all, there is quite a, what do you call it, illustrious event. This Bodhisattva was asked again by the Buddha to go and ask for, well-being of Vimalakirti, and of course he also refused, because his reason is, this is good, because when he was teaching in his own place one time, Mara, the lord of the, lord of the illusion, the devil, evil, whatever you want, the Mara, very deceptive. Mara came to him in disguise as the Indra, the lord of the god, king of God. He came as the Indra with, lots of beautiful girls, and prostrate to this Bodhisattva's feet, sat down, and then this Bodhisattva said, I thought that he was a real Indra with all these beautiful goddesses. So I said, Koshika. Koshika, I guess, is the name of god Indra, right? So he says, oh, Koshika, welcome. I'm happy that you are here. And I told Koshika, which is, the king of the god, who actually is the lord of the Mara. The Mara, the lord of the evil, illusion. I told Koshika, nice that you are here, but, beware of temptation. Make your life meaningful. Make your precious body meaningful. Not to be too greedy, Think of impermanence. That's what I told. Okay, this is the Bodhisattva explaining his experience. And then at that point, the Mara, who is now in disguise as the king of the god, said, he said, oh, these beautiful girls, I'm going to offer this to you as your, for your retinue. I'm offering these girls to you. Then the Bodhisattva, did you find the name of this Bodhisattva?
Upholder of the age.
Yes, but in Sanskrit, did you know?
It's getting Subarna something.
Subarna?
Subarna something.
Jagati? Jagati Dharma. I think so, Jagati Dharma, yes. Yes. Jagati Dharma. Yeah, I think that's it. And he said to king of the gods, saying, oh, how can you say this, I am a monk. Shakti said, meaning like the son of Shakya, meaning like I'm a monk. I'm a celebrity. This is not good. You're offering girls to a monk. Not just one or two girls, quite a lot. So that's what this Bodhisattva told. Just as they were sort of going back and forth, this thing with these two, Vimalakirti turns up. Again. And Vimalakirti sort of stormed in and he told the Bodhisattva, what was Jagatida? Yeah. He told Jagatida, this, don't think this pointing at now in disguise as the Lord of the God, don't think this is the Lord of the God. He is the Mara himself. And then turning to the Mara, said, how can you give this monk all these girls? He doesn't need these girls. Instead, you should give them to me. At that point, Lord Mara the Mara was not happy at all. He was scared, he was not happy. So he wanted to, the Mara is considered like the Lord of illusion. He could really disappear, he could disguise every way he likes. So he wanted to disappear, he wanted to just sort of vanish. But Vimalakirti overpowered his power so that he forgot how to disappear. So he was stuck. So Mara was trying to disappear, but he couldn't. And at that point, there was a voice, I guess, from the surrounding, telling Mara, you should offer these girls to Vimalakirti. Because if you don't, you will not be able to disappear. Then Mara, because he really wishes to disappear, offered the girls to Vimalakirti. And Vimalakirti willingly took these girls and told the girls, well, you have all been given to me now. So, first, most importantly, take the Bodhisattva vow. These are all, like demoness, sort of. And they all took the Bodhisattva vow. And then Vimalakirti said, well, now that you have taken a Bodhisattva vow, you are only allowed to desire or wish for the supreme joy, not any mundane worldly bliss. So the girls asked him, what is that? What is supreme joy? What do you mean? What is it that we are supposed to only look for? So I thought this is actually almost like, again, this is where the Vimalakirti Sutra has that touch of expedient teaching. it's quite beautiful, so that's why I thought we should discuss this. So, this is an answer to the girls, like Vimalakirti is saying that, okay, so what is the supreme joy? The supreme joy is to admire and adore the Buddha, to admire and adore and long for the words of the Dharma, to admire and pay homage and service to the Sangha, to crush your ego, pride. Supreme joy is joy of joy of not getting stuck on pleasure objects, not get caught up by them. That is the supreme joy. And the supreme joy is considering all your aggregates, 5 aggregates, as a butchers. Like hideous butchers. Your 5 aggregates as a butchers, considering them as a butchers. Supreme joy is to consider all your elements as temperamental snake, unpredictable. Supreme joy is to consider all your sense and sense objects as empty cities. Supreme joy is always treasuring the bodhicitta. Supreme joy is always longing to help others, wishing to be generous. Joy of discipline, patience, diligence, one-pointedness, stainless wisdom, so on and so forth. Long list of what is supreme joy that the girls are supposed to like. Along with to be supreme joy is having enthusiasm to hang out with those who shares the same view, like all compounded things are impermanent, all emotions are pain. That's a supreme joy. Also, supreme joy is never looking down and be judgmental towards those who don't share your view. Have patience, have tolerance, and have open-mindedness to those who don't really share your view, that things are impermanent, so on and so forth. Supreme joy is the joy of venerating the Guru. Supreme joy is the joy of detaching from friends who would give you bad influence. Supreme joy is the joy of wishing to practice the Dharma. Long discourse, probably took long time. Anyway, at the end, Mara told, let's go home. And the girls told the former boss, well, you have given us to him now. We are supposed to not like the things that we used to like. We are supposed to like other things now. This is such an important story. Hear me out. Then Mara, facing towards Vimalakirti, said, "Hey, you are supposed to be Bodhisattva, You are supposed to have no attachment and give up everything. So, let go of these girls. Can you let go of these girls?" Vimalakirti said, "Very good. I'm going to let them go." The Mara and the retinue must all go back. And this is the important, this is why I want you to hear me out, because this is, this is a twist that we need to learn. That's such an important, again, element. Because here the girls are saying, you have been telling us, okay, take the Bodhisattva vow, like this, don't like that. Now you are telling us to go back. And they do prostrations to Vimalakirti, said, how are we going to do this? How can we go back to Mara's world and house? Very, sinful, dark, degenerated. Vimalakirti said, this is important. Vimalakirti said, girls, you must go back. Because there is what he called we should go. Because there is a way. There is a way, There is a way called inexhaustible Dharma length. There is a way called inexhaustible Dharma length. Therefore, you should go. And you should invest and put your energy and time to this inexhaustible land. And what is it? From one lamp, you can lit hundreds and thousands of lamps, yet the first original lamp will not exhaust. Likewise, one Bodhisattva can ignite, kindle so many so many sentient beings, and ignite their innate bodhicitta. Meaning, the girls, you don't have to worry that you will lose your good qualities. You can actually benefit more. This is Vimalakirti's really big move here. Yes, so you girls, go to the land of the Mara. Ignite the land of the Dharma. Make the Dharma inexhaustible, even in the most unlikely places. All this was witnessed by Bodhisattva, what was it?
Jagat Narayan.
What? Jagat. Jagatina. Jagatita. Jagatita. All this was witnessed by him, and he said, look, this basically humbled him all the way. So I'm not going to ask to Vimalakirti this place and alone and ask him, hi, how are you? I'm not going to do this. He refused. We'll stop here and maybe there's about half an hour if you want to ask questions. Do you want to just maybe give the thing? Okay.
Ramati, just to get the historical perspective clear, the Chinese version seems somewhere in the 2nd century AD, and it is said that the Tibetan version, somewhere in the 8th century, has been translated from the Chinese. Is that correct?
I don't know. That any of this kind of anything to do with the dates and mathematical questions? Go and ask Vimalakirti.
My main question is that in the morning you said that one illusory person speaking to another illusory person about the illusory thing.
Yes.
So can you just slightly elaborate that? So that this illusion becomes clear.
Because what it portrays is happening and nothing happened together. You got what I mean?
Yes.
That's why. That's my answer. It is, happening and not happening together. That's what it is. You see, that's why it's so important.
So that means the two things are happening in the ultimate realm and the conventional realm.
Yes, two seemingly totally two different things is happening together.
Simultaneously.
Yes, but even the word together is very deceptive. It's not even together, because the word together indicates there's two things. But actually it's not two things. And that is the magic. And even though I don't know about the dates of the translation, I have a lot of respect to the Chinese edition and the Chinese sort of approach to the Vimalakirti. Among many other things, among many other reasons, I was totally struck by when I went to Dunhuang, in the caves, they have this painted on the wall. Now that is just incredible. And I think it is a blessing of the Buddha, because I had a very non-Buddhist sort of non-Buddhist, not well-versed in, of course, forget Mahayana, just general Buddhism, girl as my guide. And here I was pretending that, I'm also just ordinary, of course I'm ordinary, but you are tourist. So I was listening to her, and it's so inspiring. The way she describes those paintings, so inspiring. From her school, tourist guide, the way of explaining to me. It's like, oh, there's this Mr., like, I forgot the names in Chinese. Vimalakirti, what do they call him? Yes, Vermoche, yes. Yes, Vermoche. And I, like, who is this Vermoche? And then she has a certain, he's a very rich, I think, some rich Indian. And to me, that really, to me, is very profound that she thinks like that. Rich. And then but then most of the fresco is damaged. So parts are missing. But that's, you could really do a really amazing illustration. And yes, one very visible, I'm sure many of you have seen, is the parasols. Those Chinese parasols, really, really elaborated Chinese parasols. That's the beginning. So, and the Zen, the Chan, I think, among many other sutras, this is one of their sort of supporting big pillar sutra, isn't it? So, I would say, yeah, they had a lot of say in this.
This morning you said from the virus of awareness to antidote emotion, but when you antidote emotion, there will be also a weird grow up. Could you elaborate a little bit more about how
antidote?
The weird also grow up when you put on the virus of awareness.
Weeds will grow up. And then?
Could you elaborate a little bit how to deal with those weeds?
No, I'm just saying that if you are a farmer or a gardener, weeds are weeds. Am I making sense? Because if I'm not a farmer, which I'm not, I actually don't know which one is weed and which one is not. So I actually don't know what's the obstacle and what I need and what I don't want. So what I was saying is, by the time you reach capable enough to sort of notice the weeds, you are quite good. That's what I'm saying. You are quite good. Of course, we don't want the weeds, but at that time you are doing okay, because you at least know what are weeds. And whereas me, I don't know what are weeds. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
So you said that it is possible for every being to become enlightened, but it's not possible to have world peace. So what I don't understand is, if every being is enlightened, why wouldn't there be world peace?
Because enlightenment is not peace, as in world peace. That's why. Because I have a feeling that world peace, what is world peace, can you define? Because actually, your question is important, because the peace, Shiva, or sometimes the Shiva is translated as peace. But when we talk about this peace, we are talking about beyond going straight with Sama Shivaji. We are talking about going beyond extremes, fabrications, distinctions. But I think when we talk about the world peace here, we are talking about some lofty, kind of sofa seat kind of peace, aren't we?
Like an end to violence, sort of the opposite of violence,
Right,
peacefulness.
Right.
But that's not necessarily what it would be if all beings were in.
No. Okay. Meanwhile, can we say that delusion, confusion, or any mental activity is done without awareness, but if done with awareness is wisdom? Well, I cannot really say it is a wisdom, but you are on the right sort of beginning. It is the right beginning. Okay.
I just want to check something there. The Maitreya section.
All this we hear the phrase "everybody is already enlightened." You know, that's sometimes helpful for us. But I just wanted to check here: are we saying everybody is first one is everybody is already a Buddha, right? But here, we're saying everybody is already the next Buddha, and is that more helpful for us?
Next Buddha is probably the problematic for the Vimalakirti. Remember, that's why how he provoked the situation. Aren't you supposed to be the next Buddha? What do you mean by next? So that's why I was picking on the Britishers.
Right, so that it would be wrong for us to take away the phrase, because I was thinking maybe that's helpful for us to think everybody, each one of us, is already the next Buddha, rather than a Buddha.
But I will not delete that, because it is very encouraging word. Soggy food, remember? Those are necessary.
So which is the encouraging word?
Next Buddha.
Next Buddha.
No, or it depends actually. Again, it depends. Because if you are in border between the soggy and solid food, to say already a Buddha is quite good. That's what the Tantric people seems to be talking.
And I was thinking already next takes it a stage further and makes it less solid.
Yes, yes. Yeah. You are now fine-tuning. That happens a lot.
Okay.
That happens. That's why there's 84,000.
Rinpoche, forgive my mundane mind, but you said something very interesting right in the beginning, where you said that you can learn so many things from the sutra, like waging war, and me having already...
I'm keeping that until tomorrow.
Okay, I was just waiting for that.
It's very important. Please, if I forget, can you raise it? There's only one thing missing, is the Hindu fundamentalist is not here. Is he here? The leftist, what is it, woolly-headed is definitely here. Where is SK? Is he here? Outside, okay, he's outside. So,
He is hearing that.
yeah, he is something. Yeah, okay. But he's here.
Good evening, I am here. I'm sorry, I'm coming to the congregation for the first time, and I do not really know what Buddhism is.
Okay.
But interesting talk I am having. But definitely I am interested to know one thing. It is said that without a guru, you can't have enlightenment. Whether Buddha had a guru?
Okay.
And who he was?
Okay.
That's my question.
Oh yes, Buddha had many gurus. In fact, among all his physical physical attributes, most beautiful and supposedly the most important physical attribute is Ushnisha, top of his sort of head. Supposedly very beautiful, just incredible. You cannot like, you will never you will never have enough of looking at it. It's just so beautiful. And this is tributed to his veneration to his guru. For instance, I think Dipamkara is one his very important guru, Dipamkara. And just to tie up things, what 아버지 지금 최근 하고 싶은 게 그거를 상대 말을 되게 연습을 하시면 예. The present Swamila, which is sort of in a shaky situation at the moment, is where this Sutra also hosts the relic of the Dipankara Buddha. 성지 Cambodia 해요. Cambodia. And out of the 1,000 Buddha, this is also the first one. Very important. Also, during the, as a prince Siddhartha, he had many gurus. Also spiritual gurus, I would say. And from the Mahayana point of view, things get very complicated. Supposedly his guru, Manjushri, who also acts as his disciple. It gets very complicated now, so let's leave it there for now. Okay. Anything more? Raji?
Wait.
I would like to know the difference between enlightenment and nirvana. And taking the question from Ajit, what he said, if there is a difference, does it happen simultaneously? Because
I don't know the word enlightenment actually, some English. What does that mean, enlightenment? It sounds very theistic to me. I prefer the liberation.
What is then?
What is nirvana in
Nirvana
Sanskrit?
would mean the extinguishing of all varnas or the
Gopa. What? Nirvana.
yeah. That's the Sanskrit meaning.
What is it?
Extinguishing of all the negativity.
All the
Negativities and all the
negativities. How about nirodha? How about nirodha? What is that mean?
Nirodha is the cessation, stopping.
Okay,
And this
stop.
is complete extinguishing.
Okay.
So then, would there be a difference between nirvana and liberation?
At glance, just out of blue, I will say maybe, most likely not. But sometimes when we talk about aha, from the Mahayana point of view, that may be not a complete liberation. But at the same time, it is a cessation. It is the end of the samsara. It depends really on which sort of school or which lineage you are talking about. It's a bit like this. It's also your agenda, so to speak. Put it very, I'll put it in a very crude language. If your agenda is to get the hell out of this place, and if you manage to get the hell out of this place, then it is a liberation from this place. So, in a way, many arhat, those who are wishing to reach to the arhat, they just want to get the hell out of samsara. Whereas the bodhisattvas, their wish is not to get the hell out of samsara. No, it's not.
Once you get to the hell out of samsara, does it mean that you have achieved the nirvana, the extinguishing of all the thing? I mean, as you said,
when you reach to the first bhumi, you may have destroyed the seed to return to the samsara, yes. But that does not mean that their wish is fulfilled. Because for the bodhisattva, they, as much as how the Shavakas, they are afraid of samsara, the Bodhisattvas are hypothetically, speaking, not only hypothetically, I don't know, metaphorically speaking, Bodhisattvas are not only afraid of samsara, they are also afraid of nirvana. That's why they call it Shakespearean English or things like that. They are afraid of both samsara and the nirvana. This is what, remember earlier, which discussion was it? Yes, was done. About the liberation. That liberation is not a goal, remember? Oh yeah, that, don't deceive these gods. Yes. Yes?
Rinpoche, it seems what you're saying is Vimalakirti keeps coming up, and he's saying drop the references. He's saying drop it, whatever you're thinking, right? Drop the references. I'm thinking, to even understand what you're saying, I have to start with the reference point. I'm thinking, for example, in my head, if it's yoga, I'm twisting my body, I'm becoming a camel, a monkey, to reach a state, and I like this, it's called Ishvara Pranidhana, where you completely surrender. You don't expect anything. I'm trying to relate that to what you're saying. What is Vimalakirti saying? Is to reach wherever he wants us to be, there has to be a reference point, right? I mean, if I'm listening to you, I'm thinking you're saying drop the gender. I'm saying, I'm a man, and if I want to do Guru Yoga, if I respect you, I'll do it in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
How do I?
Yes, remember earlier, this Vimalakirti only talk, he already handled that by saying, you cannot talk. The Dharma, the word, he deconstructed that. But, you are asking something very practical. Here, as I said, we are talking about a view, right? Of course, people like you and me, we have to use references. Why? Because we are in the ocean of references. We know we want to be on the shore. We have to swim through the references. This is important. I should explain a little bit. Okay. This is the tricky part also. Okay, referencelessness is what we need to actionize. Okay? So the path becomes tricky because as you said very rightfully, paths are full of references. But here, this is why we were talking about the solid food and the soggy food. Because some of these paths are references, but they are designed to dismantle themselves, so to speak. It's a bit like self-disintegrating. Many paths are designed for that. They're designed to extinguish themselves. They're designed to sort of, they are designed to gear towards the referencelessness. And these paths that has the feeling, the mood, the language, nuances of referencelessness are what we call teachings that don't require explanation. But having said this, and again I'm coming back, and I have to come back always again and again. And I'm going to provoke you also. I'm sure some of you are great Krishnamurti lover. This is where I will be saying, I am differing with him because Krishna Murti is not presenting with a parasol. He does not like parasols. No teacher, no teaching method, always going to the referencelessness. Here will not deny. Parasols, everything accepts. We accept everything. And this combination of the wisdom and the method, the harmony of chaos and order, is what makes the path so colorful, rich, inexhaustible. This is so important. Ajit's questions about the illusion, the illusory person talking to illusory, and my answer was, it basically talks about happening and not happening, happening together. That has to be in the path. This is the beauty of the path. Of course, it's not that easy, because one of them will always, for deluded beings like us, it's a bit like, what do you call it, those people who walk on the rope, and tightrope, and we don't really know how to walk on that, and one of the way will always pull us. So many times, I would say things like Osho, Rajneesh, people may have been pulled by method a lot. And Krishnamurti people may have been pulled by, non-method a lot. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to provoke to some sort of a, where is SP? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. What? There's actually some good questions here. I'll try to incorporate with the teaching tomorrow here. Okay.
Just following on from what you just said.
Okay.
Following on from what you just said then, and you keep repeating how important the setting is for the teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But considering so much of the teaching is really about emptiness and it's about the illusory nature of the world, why do you keep going back to the setting and saying how important it is?
The relative truth. So important. And if I tie that to, are you British? Because setting, when I talk about the setting, I'm talking about reincarnation. Because this is what I'm saying, that because the Buddhists have never said there's a truly existing reincarnation. But we will never ever reject reincarnation. And reincarnation is the setting in this case, setting, the relative truth, basically, relative truth. Do the right thing, don't do the bad things, discipline, meditate, don't get distracted. All that is so important.
Would you say the setting is important in all of the sutras, or in particular with this sutra?
Actually, all the sutras, because the wisdom and method must combine all. Yeah. Actually, it's coming tomorrow. A path that is swayed by wisdom is overtaken by the wisdom is not a good path. Path that is overtaken by the method is not a good path. It has to be balanced. Chandrakirti beautifully portrayed this in his Madhyamika Avatara, like a swan flying with one wing can't do the job. Have to have both. And as a follower of the Buddha Dharma, this is important because many times either we get overtaken by the wisdom, like Vishunyata, emptiness, nothingness, no reincarnation, no karma, blah blah blah. Or we get so stuck with meditation, sitting straight, shaving head, all of that. So never really getting a proper balance. And balance is not the right word. Balance, again, when we talk about balance, you are still divorcing them. Because you are just balancing it. You are just, sort of, the couples are not fighting, basically. But we are not talking about that. We need to have a union.
My question is,
okay, so this question. Yeah.
There's a very important instruction which you also quoted in your book, Not for Happiness. It says that when you practice, you should practice the root yana or Theravada system outwardly.
Yes.
And the Mahayana inwardly and Vajrayana secretly.
Yes.
Vimalakirti seems to be advocating completely the opposite. Or is he saying we should practice all three simultaneously?
Actually not. Wait till tomorrow. It's just that we are at the moment talking about, as I said, this is the sutra that is like literally to be taken literally, because this is the sort of the teachings that does not require interpretation. That's why. It's a bit like Bhajajadika. You will find out tomorrow. He's very humble. He's so humble. But I think yes, let's see what happens tomorrow. And we will stop here today.